He led our great Commonwealth not once, but twice, serving as both our 65th and 67th governor. And 17 years ago, he came out of seemingly nowhere to win the Democratic nomination for president. He ultimately did lose to George H.W. Bush. Now he's a political science professor at Northeastern and an outspoken analyst on virtually everything. Governor Dukakis, it's great to see you.
Good to be here.
Can you explain to me the Trump phenomenon? You know a little bit about presidential politics. Can you explain the Trump phenomenon?
I can't explain the Republican Party, let alone the Trump phenomenon. But I don't think it's going to last. On the other hand, one never knows. Is he going to run as an independent? If he does, that would have a profound effect, I think, on the
But there's a message in there. As much as you may not like his politics or his style, I mean, a significant chunk of the American people are saying something, aren't they? He's leading everywhere he's running.
But it's a percentage of a
agreed.
Of a chunk, so it's not overwhelming. Look, he says what's on his mind. Seems to be, in that sense, honest, however misguided you may think he is. It's not a carefully tailored, manufactured kind of presentation, that kind of stuff, Jim. And I think some people like that. But we're talking about somebody who's going to run the United States of America and play an enormous role in world history. And, you know, when you take a look at this guy.
Your candidate is Hillary Clinton. And virtually all the things you just said Donald Trump was not. Not scripted, not, all those words, packaged. Critics, including supporters of Hillary Clinton, say she is too tight, too scripted, not spontaneous. Does that not worry you in politics?
I don't know where that's coming from. My student assistant at Northeastern took the day off yesterday because she was invited to join Hillary and about 2,000 people in New Hampshire. She said she was loose, she was relaxed, she was charming, she was funny. One of the things that happens in these campaigns, and you know this, is that the press kind of begins to develop a storyline on you. She's scripted. Dukakis is a bloodless technocrat. I remember I used to hear that, and I'd say to people, look, I have my strengths and weaknesses, but you don't get elected governor of Massachusetts 3 times because you're a bloodless technocrat, you know? And they just keep repeating this. And, sooner or later they're going to wake up to the fact that she's none of those things.
But you're a Clinton person, but if I didn't know it, and I looked at the politics of Bernie Sanders and I looked at the politics of Hillary Clinton, I'd say that bloodless technocrat, no, I'm kidding, Michael Dukakis is with Bernie Sanders. He's your kind of guy, is he not, Governor?
But she's my kind of person. You know, if you look at her Senate record, Jim, she was as progressive a United States senator as anybody in the place.
She didn't accomplish a lot, though, did she?
Did a lot. You know, you're one of 100. I thought she was a fine Secretary of State. And I think she's going to be a good president.
Can we talk about one of your great loves? And we're not talking about Kitty Dukakis. That's for another day. You're a trained guy, big time.
I'm a trained
And
guy.
because you're a trained guy, big time, you have this odd, strange bedfellow, Bill Weld. He succeeded you.
Right.
You
Who, by the way, was a rookie lawyer in my law firm. I supervised.
Oh, Hill and Barlow. Is that
I
not right?
supervised him.
How was he?
He was good.
It's okay.
But when he became governor, I said, where did I go wrong?
I know, exactly.
What happened?
You know what I used to call Weld? Bloodless technocrat. That's what I would say. So this north-south rail thing, North Station, South Station connection, give us the quick version. Why is this such a good idea, and why are you and Weld on the same platform, so to speak?
2 reasons. First, we're hearing about the necessity for expanding South Station. By the way, we're going to have to expand North Station.
Excuse me, it's not South Station. It's the Governor Michael S. Dukakis Transportation Center at South Station. You're welcome.
Anyway,
thank you.
The only reason we have congestion at both of those stations is because the trains stop. All over the world, cities are building underground rail tunnels to connect those stations and eliminate congestion. Philadelphia did it 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. So why are we talking about spending $1.5 billion to expand South Station when if you connect the 2 stations, the congestion disappears and you don't need a layover facility at Woodette Circle and all of that kind of stuff.
But speaking of underground, you know as well as anybody, as does Weld, as does Charlie Baker, who's doing fiscal things for the governor. There was another underground project that you 3 were involved in, started at a few billion, maybe 8, 9 times more. Why should we not worry that even if it's a great idea, I think you think it's going to cost, what, $2.5 billion or something?
Yeah.
It doesn't become 10, 15, whatever. What's the guarantee here?
2 things. First, my original plan for the Big Dig had a double rail line right down the middle of it. Imagine,
I know that, actually.
Imagine ripping up the city and not connecting the 2 stations. The Reagan administration gave us a very hard time in that stuff.
So why should we not worry?
But thanks to Bill Weld, there is an underground alignment and corridor already there. The utilities have been cleared out. All the mitigation has been done. So it's really a question now of taking these new tunneling machines, which are extraordinary and are being used all over the world. You won't even know that it's down there.
You were an Olympics guy. Your son
Right.
actually
Was
worked for
involved,
Boston
yeah.
2024.
Right.
You and I discussed this the other day. I think you may have some interest in this. Why isn't this thing just plopped down in Athens permanently? It's where it started, saves money, great for the economy of a country that's in trouble.
That needs that kind of...
So why is that not
Well,
the obvious outcome here?
Look, I thought this would be good for Boston, but if we can't do that, why not make Athens? That's where it all began, right?
In the Athens of America here. Is there a takeaway, we only have a minute left, from the failure of Boston 2024? Some of the most powerful people in Boston, some of the most philanthropic people in Boston. Why'd this thing fail?
Well, A, it's Boston. You know, we debate things rather vigorously. And B, I think both the big dig, Jim, and then this really unacceptable collapse of the T during the winter profoundly affected people's feelings about our ability to get things done, which I think is very unfortunate. Look, we've done a lot of great things. The harbor is a jewel these days. That didn't happen by accident.
It is indeed.
We have potentially the best public transportation system in the country, particularly
Baker's
if we...
plan going to do it? I only have 15 seconds left. Is Baker's plan to fix the T going to work?
He needs a new CEO to run the place.
I'll tell him. He's on the radio with us tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll pass it along.
Yeah.
Governor, it's a pleasure as
Thanks,
always.
Jim.
Michael Dukakis.